I'm giving you a rundown because recently after doing a successful sold-out tour in Sydney, which, not to brag, it's just the usual day in the life of everybody else couldn't sell out during COVID, couldn't sell enough tickets. That's what happens when you've got a product that people want. Okay, bunch of comedians that I really hate, but I don't want to bring up just so don't bitch about me even more. But all right, let's just zoom out of my own personal vendettas for once. We'll go back to them soon. Don't you worry. That's mostly what Friendly Geordies is about these days. I'm here to serve you. While I'm doing that, and this is something that Neil Cole-Hackard talks about as well, after you do a stand-up show, it's kind of like fucking, like that's how good it feels. But it's, that's what it's like selling a house. I think a lot of guys do get that though, right? When you're doing your skill and you do it really well, you're just like, oh, I just can't, It's disgusting. Fuck. Men really are the filthier of the two races. And the women are the whinier ones, But, after that, it's got that same thing. Once, after you just have sex and then for the rest of the day you just think, yeah, I've accomplished everything I need to do today. And then you just lie around doing nothing. In this kind of light as well, which is the most depressing part about it. I hate this. I'm getting out at some point. I can find a house that has a really nice stairway. But anyway, what happens in that process is then you just become very suggestible to partying down. Now, I think that this is the same thing that I was talking about in a previous video, that Tony Robbins one where I opened up my heart and no one cared and it didn't get any views. Anyway, I'm just going to reinstate that point because no one listened to it then. Because I had given myself such a high threshold in life to feel like some form of celebration, which pretty much means have to have a sellout tour and for the show to go really well. And if both of those things happen, then I just let loose. And by let loose, I mean I have a couple of drinks with friends. And so anyway, I did that, and we had a guy from our high school who is the funnest man on earth. I honestly don't think I've ever met anybody in my life that you could just, if you zoomed into his microscopic organism version of himself, right? There's just his white blood cells. They'd be sitting there with a beer in one of their little photovoltaic hands, and then on the other one there'd just be a durry there, and they're just all of them constantly, oi, put on Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah? So, so I was hanging around with that guy. And he's a hoot. And that was all well and good. But this is something that I recall from back in the day. This is when I was much younger, by the way, and I didn't really have much of a direction in life. Early 20s. Early 20s, you notice that this happens. You do that, and you have instantly opened Pandora's box. There's this great film that no one's watched, and I only watched it because it was on a plane, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't even released in cinemas. But it was just about some Indian temple that if you open the door of your deceased loved one, it comes out and then its body starts rotting through your house. I swear to God, that is what happens when you celebrate. You just go into a cycle of celebration very quickly, and that cycle of celebration starts to take out the ugliest components of yourself. So, what's one of the ugly, that I'll admit to anyway on camera, one of the ugliest components of myself is, find it really hard to say no to the darts. Love the darts. Soon as I have one of those, bam, half a pack, gone. Just pumping it to the point that like, I think you're taking unfair advantage of my free cigarette offer. Shut up! Just going through it, yeah? Then the next day, what happens? Want more darts. And now obviously I've kicked myself off because I've realised that that's the cycle that's happening there. But it's a true thing. It's one of the truest things that Tony Robbins said, which is that when you party, when you, this is all part of the quote, mind you, the fact that he said, and also this part that I'm currently saying now. Yes, that was it. When we succeed, we party. When we fail, we ponder. There actually is a lot more beauty in life to the failure component. And you know what else as well? Failure forces you to re-emerge stronger. Success doesn't. You really shouldn't be looking for success in life. And this is the other thing as well. Once you get addicted to the grind, to the hustle, you don't actually like succeeding. Succeeding feels bad. I liked, honestly, the month before I did my show. Now that I'm doing my show and then everyone's like, yeah, man, just come to this party. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Now that you've done that, let's just sit on our asses and fucking sing songs all night like we're 1800s pirates staying at a tavern. I don't know why. I forgot that that's what happens when people get smashed. It's just like, I've got a really good voice. So anyway, that was all happening. But I just remember this thing, right? Which is that I think that a lot of failure in life, conversely, comes from thinking that you're winning. As soon as you start thinking that you're winning, you actually start losing. You start getting complacent. It is the fall of civilizations. It is the fall of yourself. It's the same process over and over again. It's unfortunate, but like everything else in life, you do just get addicted to the feeling. If you are chasing something in life and you are shit scared of failing, you're going to have a very stressful life, but my God, you will succeed. And you will succeed spectacularly. But here's the problem. If you have a life that is extremely successful in your own mind, right? Because really, this is the whole point of what I'm saying here. Success is completely arbitrary. It's just something that is invented in your head. You can think you're successful because you got out of bed today. You can think you're successful because you didn't get out of bed today. There are people in life, I have met them, trust me, who sit there being like, yes, winning, literally didn't get out of bed today. And they're proud of it and it makes them happy. Whatever. That person, their life pretty much is just a coffin already. And they're just moving to that. This is the whole crux of what I'm getting at here. If you determine your life to have a low threshold for success, you are going to make sure that you accomplish it. If you make sure that it's a high threshold for success, you are also going to accomplish it. Now, this is the part where it gets complicated. You can be happy in both scenarios. Obviously, I've trained myself out of that scenario because I'm a workaholic and so I'm just addicted to work. So I just constantly am doing that. So I feel really bad when I'm not doing it. So I'm the wrong person to be asking when it talks to that. But I will say this. You have to, in your own mind, set a bar that is high enough that you only feel success when you hurdle over that. Yeah? And the thing is, with mine, for instance, Jesus, my bar was so high that I didn't feel any modicum of success probably for 7 years of when I first got into this career, right? 7 years of just like every day sucked. Now, very occasionally, I'm just like, yep, that's all right. I'll just have a... Okay, now that my friend is just pouring a champagne bottle down my... And also, it's not his champagne bottle. That was our champagne bottle that somebody else gave us, but nonetheless, he's decided that he's going to consume it. Anyway, so that's what happens. Yeah? You give yourself a high success threshold, you will succeed at a high level. You give yourself a low success threshold, you will succeed at a low level. You'll both have it on both ends. Now, this is different. This is the different part. You can change in your mind what you find enjoyable and what you find unenjoyable. So you can find the process of failing. You can find the process of just getting knocked back over and over again enjoyable. You can find the moment that you are in right now enjoyable. This is not the same thing as enjoying your life. This is enjoying the process of partying down and success. And the problem with all of it is, the reason that I'm getting to all of this is that if you are sitting there partying every day, this is what is happening to your brain. And I can feel it now. This happened to me maybe 4 days ago. I still don't feel that my brain is running at full capacity. It was not... I can feel it. This is how attuned I am to whether my brain is working at full capacity or not, because I just use this instrument so much now, right? I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly writing, so I'm constantly using my brain. I can feel it diminishing when I check my emails for a couple of minutes. I can feel that ricochet effect going on. I'm sorry that I have to use this example again, but the gym, always the classic, needs to be put out. Yeah? The thing that most people will notice about going to the gym is once you get into the process of it, or if you say quit cigarettes, you don't actually feel healthier when you quit cigarettes. You don't actually feel this huge bound of energy when you go to the gym. You do for a bit and then it goes away. What you do feel is the days that you don't go to the gym, is the days that you do smoke the cigarette. Then you notice the difference. Then you realize, oh, Jesus Christ, I've been functioning at that capacity for that long. The good thing about it is, and I will have to give myself credit for this, is he always says that it is a reminder when you go into those days of just getting blasted or whatever, that like that's the other side of the coin. But I would personally rather just have the 4 days of full functioning behavior. But look, it's unavoidable in life. That is what happens. But it is very interesting to note, and scary as well, that there are a lot of people in life that are just functioning on that alcoholism spiral level their whole life. I'm not talking about a few days here. I'm talking about decades. Decades of fucking drink. Can you imagine what that does to your brain? It would be impossible to get out of that loop. It's hard to get out of it after you've had one night. After you've had one night, it has negative ricochets for the rest of it in terms of your poor decision choice, in terms of your brain functioning, in terms of just anybody gives you any form of sin whatsoever, you are much more likely to be like, yeah, give it to me. But you notice this when you move out of it. And I think that happens when you give yourself a high enough success threshold in life. That is not the same, by the way, as just enjoying life. I just need to reiterate that. Okay, so you've got that. I want you to write down now, and this is going to help you out a lot. This will help you out a lot, so please do it. Write down, when was the last time that you felt success? What happened? Are you proud of that? Of course you're proud of it. But look at it on the grand scheme of things. Is it that fucking good? Is it that good? Well, anyway, I'll let you answer that in your own time. Make sure that you sign up to Jordan Shanks. And I've got something else now that's even better than that, for just a cup of coffee a week with my little sell point of, yeah, you'll be a millionaire if you follow the information, trust me, because I got a letter on the weekend. And it was very nice. And it was by a man who was saying that he was at the bottom of his life when he was looking at Jordan Shanks. He had no girlfriend. He had no job. And then he just started watching my videos, and he was just in that, I'm a loser, I suck spiral, which, let's be honest, he clearly was. The point is, I made him not a loser. And it was me! And he gave me all the credit. Because he just went out and started writing down everything, just taking notes of every one of these videos ever, from start to finish. Fast forward a few years. I think it was maybe 3 years after that. Guess what? He started up a company. He's expecting at the end of this year to make a turnover of $3 million. That is in the span of 3 years. You see how powerful this stuff is? Make sure that you sign up to Jordan Shanks if you want the real high-octane stuff. 2 extra videos a week. It is a fraction of $3 million. Anyway, thank you very much for watching anyway, and I'll see you next time.